Okay, just kind of looking at this map, I won't get into detail here, but in a nutshell, I'm going to have more detail as I go through this PowerPoint about the different sites, but in a nutshell, what the Greenway is all about is we're saying we're trying to buy key blocks of natural and recreational lands and then link those together with a trail. Well, the trail isn't built yet. We're hoping that that can come in the future, but we are getting most of those key blocks of land in place right now, and so pretty soon we'll be looking to that trail. And that's why I mentioned maybe the best of the Greenway is to come in the future when we can actually link all those spaces together. So this is a little bit more current map of the Grand River in terms of what we have in place right now. So we've gone from 42 acres in 1987 to 2,400 acres, and from a half mile to 13 miles of riverfront that's protected. And I'm going to kind of walk you through a lot of these properties. This is Conner Bayou and Crockery Creek, and this is Jubb Bayou, Riverside Park. There'll be another map showing you the Big Bass River State Recreation Area here. These are East and West Burr Oak Landing, Eastmanville Farm, Eastmanville Bayou. This is Rips Bayou, Kites Bayou, and then this is Grand River Ravines, Grand River Open Space, Grand River Park, and this is called the Bend area, kind of an emerging site that we hope that red is land that we hope to acquire in the future. So I'm going to kind of walk you from west to east down the river corridor and showing you some of the sites along the way. As was mentioned, Conner Bayou is going to be the site for the first official Greenway event on Sunday, and Conner Bayou is located right here. This is Mercury Drive turns into Green, and then North Cedar, and this is 128th Avenue. So right after the bend on North Cedar at 128th, you go down the gravel road just a little bit to the west on North Cedar, and then you get into Conner Bayou, and then you'd be coming in this way, and there's a gravel drive that leads you down to a log cabin. Now this park, the press has kind of made it sound like we're showing off our new park. Actually, this park is under development, and it's far from finished. It'll be finished sometime in probably June or early July. Completely finished, but we have pretty well, it's day by day, finished the log cabin so we can have this event here on Saturday. We've got a contractor that's been working out there. So, if you go out there for that event, know that there's some better things yet to come, but it's really a cute log cabin, really a fun spot, and just a gorgeous piece of land. We felt really fortunate that we were able to acquire this site. You can get some views of it with these photos here. It's got some great wildlife. This eastern box turtle, it's been kind of known for having a really good population of the eastern box turtles, those wonderful land turtles that can live to be 100 years old. And then the Conner Bayou itself is just kind of a small body of water. It has wild rice still growing in it. That's a plant that's been pretty well eliminated here in the lower Grand, but our Parks Department is working on an effort to do some restoration work to try to get wild rice growing again. That was such an important plant for the Indians, the Native Americans that lived here, and it's been kind of eliminated for a number of reasons over the years. These are our plans for Conner Bayou that you're seeing here. This is the log structure, and this parking will be in place here. We won't have this done for this weekend, but unless something's happening today I wasn't aware of. But we're going to have a wonderful network of trails, and this doesn't show the whole site, but going out that direction, wonderful trails along the river. There's going to be a wonderful high-up overlook here, looking out over the length of Conner Bayou. There's going to be a kayak launch. There's going to be a nice fishing dock. So just a really nice site in a beautiful location. One thing I didn't mention that I should say is that on the other, this is Conner Bayou, on the other side is the Spoonville Gun Club. And that's a private area, not a public spot, but it's 600 acres of preserved land. So when you're out there with Spoonville Gun Club, and this is the Grand Haven State Game Area, you're in a very quiet, out-of-the-way spot, at least till they build the highway about a half a mile away. But it's really pretty. You feel like you're in a very kind of remote setting. And of course, with all that open land, there's lots of birds. You can see eagles and sandhill cranes a lot of the time flying down the river corridor, so that's fun. These are shots of the log structure. It's just a nice log home that's about 30 years old that has a lot of character, that we're remodeling it. When we're done, it'll be available for use for families to rent for weddings and family reunions and other types of activities. And now we're moving upriver just a little bit to our Crackery Creek natural area. So this is the mouth of the Crackery Creek that has a lot of historic significance with the early traders and so forth. I think some later speakers in this series are going to be talking more about details that way. But Crackery Creek is 330 or so acres. We've got 2.5 miles of the Crackery Creek, we own almost out to Leonard Road. And it's just a beautiful piece of natural land. It's one of the more wilder, remote sites in our park system. There's an active eagle's nest, and you can see the pictures of the eaglets being banded there. They've been raising young there for, gosh, I don't know, probably 10 years in a row now. And so, but there's also otters out here. Now, you don't see them, of course, every time you go out there, but there's, in one of these more remote little water bodies that's like an old river channel off the Crackery Creek, there's otters that are spotted regularly. So it's, you got to have a pretty wild spot to have otters visit, because they're very secretive, and so it's one sign that it is one of those out-of-the-way places. Oh, there's also this old farmstead. There's the barn that showed up here. This was a 1880s farmstead that was the Kirkby farm. Mrs. Kirkby was in her mid-90s living in that house when we bought it, and she had a life estate or life lease there. So she lived there for the first few years that we owned it. Just a wonderful lady that we interviewed her and documented a lot of her stories on tape and in written form. She just had wonderful stories. She remembers the first deer that ever was seen on the property. Back in those early years, there weren't any deer around here, and unlike Grand Haven today. But she remembers seeing the first buck, and what a thrill that was to see it on her property.